Tansin itute magtiar Wheatley Nisagasun Opasquac Uchanina. Tawau, welcome to APTN National News for this Friday, March 6th. A verdict for a First Nations man on trial for second-degree murder ×5 was handed down late Thursday in a Winnipeg courtroom. After less than 2 hours of deliberating, the jury made up of 7 men and 5 women came back with a verdict that found Jamie Felix guilty of second-degree murder ×5 for fatally shooting 5 people at a Winnipeg rooming house on November 26, 2023. Among the victims were sisters Crystal and Shannon Beardy of Lake St. Martin, Malalik Lesikel, and Dylan Lavalley. The 5th, Sean Marco, died in hospital in late 2025. During the trial, a medical expert said he had died from getting pneumonia after being shot. The trial began on February 17th, with the Crown first making their case, saying that Felix had been paranoid after being on a days-long crack cocaine and drinking binge in the house where the shooting occurred. The home was known to be a crack shack. Felix had left to go for a walk with his father, Randolph Fagnan, a known gang member, and when he returned, he fired off 9 rounds in 8 seconds, then tried to turn the gun on himself and ran out of ammunition. Among the Crown's witnesses were police officers and first responders on the scene, a pathologist, as well as Felix's mom and his girlfriend at the time, who both testified that Felix had told them he did it. Felix's defense team tried to say it was Felix's now-dead father who pulled the trigger and that Felix was only a patsy, adding that Felix's father planned the murders and set up his own son to take the fall. Over the course of the trial, jury also heard that Felix had military training and that he had struggled on and off with substance abuse since his twin brother Jonathan was killed after a drug deal gone wrong back in 2012. In the end, the 12-person jury believed beyond a reasonable doubt that it was Felix who killed the 5 people in the rooming house back in 2023. While Felix sat quietly during the verdict, it was after both the jury and the judge had left the room that Felix began to cause a scene. According to the Canadian press, Felix wanted to talk to friends in the room, but the sheriffs would not allow him to. That's when Felix punched a sheriff in the face. It took many sheriffs in the room to restrain Felix, who was taken from the courtroom without a shirt after it ripped during the scuffle. As for Felix's sentence, that will be handed down at a later date. Saskatchewan RCMP have released the identity of one suspect who allegedly shot a man in the Red Earth Cree Nation in northeastern Saskatchewan earlier this week. Saskatchewan RCMP say they are looking for 24-year-old Julian Kitchener, a resident of Shoal Lake. He has been charged with discharging a firearm with intent, aggravated assault, and possessing weapons contrary to a court order. Kitchener is 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, with black hair. His left eye is gray and may appear closed, while his right eye is brown. RCMP say Julian Kitchener and another suspect fled the scene in a gray Chevrolet Impala after they allegedly shot a man on Tuesday afternoon in Red Earth Cree Nation. The man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. If anyone knows where Julian Kitchener is, you're asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. The person charged in connection with the death of an Indigenous woman in Thunder Bay will stand trial. The body of 42-year-old Deborah Anishinaabe was found by Thunder Bay Police in December 2024. Throughout the course of the investigation, police charged Levi Michael Lawson with second-degree murder and indignity to a human body. A preliminary hearing was held this week where evidence was presented in court, all of which falls under a publication ban. A trial date will be set at a future hearing. A family from Inukjuak, a remote community in northern Quebec, has been in Montreal for several months. It's so that their son Bobby can receive medical care. Stephanie Desev tells us more about the difficult decision Bobby's mother must make, a decision that many northerners in the same situation must also make.
In the near future, the only way 14-year-old Bobby will be able to stay in touch with his family in the north is through his iPad. He will soon be discharged from a Montreal hospital, but may not be able to go back home to Inukjuak in northern Quebec. He might be placed in a permanent facility for disabled kids in Montreal, far from familiar places. Right now, Bobby is here with his Anana, Lily, his adopted mother, and his sister Jennifer. Bobby has a genetic disease called P5CS deficiency. It causes growth and developmental delays, as well as eye problems. His biological younger sister has the same rare disease. Sign language is how he communicates. by bringing his fingers together. Bobby says again. Despite his condition, Bobby has a strong personality.
He watches he loves airplanes. He loves wheels, big trucks, and sunanlo, hanoklo.
And he has a lot of energy, I hear.
He has a lot of energy. He would go everywhere.
He has been under medical supervision since he was 6 weeks old. He is used to traveling from his community to Montreal for medical appointments and treatments.
Bobby, Anana.
Back in November, they traveled from Inukjuak for a routine checkup, but had to stay to treat Bobby because he had blood in his vomit and feces. His Anana had sought medical advice more than once over the years, but had been told that everything was fine.
But then I thought it was normal. I thought it was okay. But then when he was born, he used to get sick easily.
However, Bobby had to be put to sleep and a small camera was used to check his esophagus.
He had an internal bleeding inside. Esophagus was infected. Yes.
All the way up to his stomach, actually.
Yeah.
The medical team tried unsuccessfully to administer his antibiotic in his milk, through an IV, and then through a tube in his mouth.
He gagged and the tube went off from the mouth.
The medical team then suggested a small incision be made to connect a tube directly into his stomach. It is used to hydrate, nourish, and administer medication. His Anana was hesitant at first. She finally agreed because she was promised the procedure would be temporary. According to his Anana, the medical team went back on their promise, and he will have to keep the tube permanently. This added task weighs on the decision this stay-at-home mom has to make. Will she bring Bobby back home, or will he be placed permanently in a facility for the disabled in Montreal? Because Bobby will soon be discharged from the hospital.
I can't bring him home because of the tube leg. I'm planning
Jennifer shares what would be the best scenario for Bobby.
We preferred that he is closer to home, like that is connected to the culture, to the land, to
So I can visit directly to him, so I can see him every day if they took my boy.
But there are no facilities for disabled kids in Inukjuak, nor in other remote northern Quebec communities. In 2025, Anana advocated for such a facility at the Makivik Annual General Meeting. Something came out of her testimony. They are not building a home, but the Lily Fund was created last year.
I asked her already, so are they going to build a house for handicap? And she said, no, not the one. You've been accepted for trust fund.
The fund provides monthly financial assistance to parents of children with disabilities. Anana says she is happy the fund provides some assistance, but it does not solve her situation, where Bobby may be in a Montreal facility permanently. That's because Bobby is not easy to handle.
He got traumatized by so many different doctors. So when a new phase shows up, going to be in a protective mode.
Also, Anana has a hard time giving Bobby a bath by herself. He has become too heavy. She believes that two people are needed to control and care for him.
Even though if I go through FM, Facebook, PLA, social workers, they posted nobody's interested. There's no one. You never know, dear.
It's a familiar song, one she's been singing to Bobby since he was a baby. As a mother and an activist, Anana has not sung her last note yet. Stéphane Desev, APTN News, Montreal.
Kinanaskamitin Stephanie. And former NHLer Jordin Tootoo speaks to kids in the Northwest Territories. We hear from him when we come back. Tesqua. Come on in, Pete DeGuay. When Jordin Tootoo walks into a room, it's easy for the conversation to center around hockey. But for one Yellowknives Dene school, the Inuk athlete had a different game plan. One where sincerity is just as important as slap shots. APTN's Charlotte Moore Jacobs explains.
It's going to make you feel good to start off the day.
Former NHL right-winger Jordin Tootoo is challenging students at Kaleme Dene School in Dillon to make their bed every morning. His message has less to do with pro hockey and more to do with forming the habits necessary to get there.
There's a lot of young kids that look up to you guys, okay? You guys are role models.
Tootoo speaks honestly, not shying away from life's challenges, and frames strength as the courage to feel.
We were watching your highlights and we saw that you were quite a fighter. Was there a purpose to that, or was it just?
We all fight a fight no one knows about until we express, until we share. And where do we like to be open and honest the most? Out in the bush, right? Because that's where we as Indigenous people feel comfortable. That's where we feel content in our own skin. That's who we are.
In one sentence, Suzanne Peniel captures the weight she and her peers carry and the power of seeing someone lift it.
It's inspiring how seeing someone who's like Inuit and like me, like being more successful and like going sober and not becoming a stereotype.
Principal Megan Wolk says when you invest in sports, students invest in themselves.
If teachers are going to go above and beyond and volunteer for these things, kids have to be showing up. And it teaches kids that reciprocity, like that ability to, okay, I'm getting this, so now I'm going to give back this in terms of attendance, in terms of engagement.
Like many K-12 schools in the Northwest Territories, they lack a full-size gym. When asked what leaders could do to address these gaps, Tootoo was frank.
We can give our kids all these opportunities with, a new hockey rink, a new baseball field, a soccer field. But at the end of the day, it's what are we teaching our kids at home, right? That's where the root of every seed is. It needs to be planted. I grew up in Rankin Inlet, Nunavik. You guys know where that is, along the Hudson Bay. All right, small town. I was that shy kid who wanted to sit at the back of the class. My confidence was very low in the classroom. But as soon as I got out on the hockey rink, I was a different animal, right? What's your special talent?
The motivational speaker and author says the work he does now is his way of giving back, inspiring others to believe their stories can go farther than they ever imagined. Charlotte Moore Jacobs, APTN National News, Dillon.
Great story. Ginanaskamitin in Charlotte. An actor is returning her award. She says her acceptance speech mentioning Palestine was censored by the Toronto Film Critics Association. In response, their president has resigned from the position. Reporter Sav Jonesa has the details.
Elmaya Telfeathers recorded the speech for the Toronto Film Critics Association, or TFCA, awards earlier this week when she was unable to attend in person. The Kainai First Nation member and Sami descendant won Outstanding Supporting Performance in a Canadian Film for her role as Tony in Sweet Angel Baby. She says the movie is a highlight in her career, where she plays the only openly lesbian woman in a small Newfoundland town.
As a queer Indigenous woman, I have not had the opportunity to play someone like Tony on screen before, and so it was really special to me. and I think means a lot for Indigenous stories on screen.
The almost 2.5-minute long video ended with tail feathers bringing attention to the war in Palestine, one that she and others, including the United Nations, have called a genocide by Israel. Between October 7th, 2023 and early January 2025, an independent survey by Lancet Global Health estimates more than 75,000 Palestinians have been directly killed by Israel. The 27-second portion was cut out by the TFCA when it aired at the awards gala. Here it is now.
One final thing is that when we were shooting Sweet Angel Baby, October 7th happened, and it changed everything. So I just want to say that my heart continues to be with the people of Palestine who are experiencing this ongoing genocide, and thank you to everybody in this industry who's been brave enough to say anything. Take care.
Tail Feathers sent a statement to its members and executives saying she will regretfully return the award due to the censorship. In a statement, TFCA President Johanna Schneller says she decided to shorten Tail Feathers' speech, along with others, to maintain timing of the show. Because of the incident, Schneller handed in her resignation. Those interested can find the full speech available on the Toronto Film Critics Association website. Sav Jonesa, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Tapwagi Sav, and we take you to a science fair at the Aviation Museum in Winnipeg right after the break. BRB, Cheskwa. Tawau, welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. Clarence Jones, a regular viewer, shared with us a recent addition to his mug collection. Thanks, Clarence, for all the photos and contributions, and we hope you enjoy the mug. You too can be a regular contributor for APTN. Send us your photos to share at aptn.ca for the chance to be our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting on the East Coast, Charlottetown and Halifax, both 2 degrees. Over to Nain, -14, Kuujjuaq, -8. Chibougamau 1, Saguenay 6. Down to Peterborough 11, Sault Ste. Marie 2 degrees. Big Trout Lake -6, Sioux Lookout 1. And over to Churchill -22, Norway House -4. Over to Gimli 0, Dauphin 3. Moving to Saskatchewan now, Yorkton 1, North Battleford 4. And up to Stony Rapids -15, Buffalo Narrows 5. Moving west, high level -3, Peace River 2. Edmonton 3, Red Deer also 3, and Calgary 12. Campbell River 11, Bella Coola 1. Over to Dease Lake 0, and Smithers and Prince Rupert both 7. Up to Rock River -23, Dawson -8. Over to Wati -17, Norman Wells -18. Up to Satch Harbor -25, and Paulatuck -29. Over to Cambridge Bay -27, Baker Lake also 27. Resolute -24, and Igloolik -32. The Frontier School Division had their annual science fair in Winnipeg on Thursday. Students from Norway House, Churchill, Gillam, and other rural and northern Manitoba communities traveled to showcase their projects and talent at the fair. Julia Ross spoke with some of the youth.
Over 80 students traveled to Winnipeg to take part in the annual science fair. This year, it was held at the Royal Aviation Museum. Erica Hildebrand is the Assistant Superintendent of Academics and Instructing for Frontier School Division. She says the science fair is the highlight of her year.
If you've followed the North, we've had a pretty rough year in terms of fire and water and like challenges that are pretty normal for our kids, but this is where you see the resiliency rise up, and this is where you see kids stepping into a little bit of their power and identity and recognizing that some of those problems that are going up there, they actually have some power to, learn about fires and learn about conservation and sustainability and really make a difference in the world.
Hildebrand says the opportunity the fair brings for kids builds more than just their science skills. It also brings connection.
So we have the most amazing science coach. She works on there from September until now. There's about, I want to say 80 kids, over 120 adults, including chaperones and volunteers. And this has been a huge undertaking because we set up activities for the kids and it's like a week-long celebration of science. They stay at campus in Aboya. There's a lot of moving pieces and Jacqueline's a pro, so she makes it look easy.
Student Evan Aptegan traveled from Norway House and says he enjoys staying in Winnipeg.
My favorite part was making it to Winnipeg so far. The camp I stay at is really nice. There's lots of stuff to do. It's fun. Traveling, I like seeing the big buildings and the lights and stuff.
Rayleigh Poker and Nadia Monroe, also from Norway House, spent 2 weeks working on the idea for their science project.
It's like borax crystals. We basically just mix borax and hot water and they form crystals.
Yeah, you leave it for 12 to 24 hours for it to form. And yeah, it could be like different colors, different shapes. You use pipe cleaners to shape them. Yeah,
it's really cool.
Aptegan's group created their own heater, while another crafted bath bombs from scratch.
We did lavender and cotton candy and I don't know.
Christmas tree.
Christmas tree, yeah.
I brought a heater. It works so it takes power from batteries and turns the power into heat. Travels through it and yeah, feels really good. I'm proud of myself. I made it here. Put in lots of work.
The Science Fair's top 3 winners will represent Frontier School Division at the Canada-wide Science Fair in Edmonton. Julia Ross, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Tapwegi, Julia. And for all you hockey fans out there, the Calgary Flames host their annual Indigenous celebration game this Saturday against the Carolina Hurricanes. In anticipation of the event, the Flames unveiled a new logo their players will be sporting at the match. Flames defenseman Zach Whitecloud is showing off the design here. The logo features Blasty the horse with a fiery mane and 7 feathers representing the Treaty 7 territory Calgary is located on. Designer Keegan Starlight says the pink swirl symbolized Chinooks bringing prayers up to the Creator. Starlight, an artist from Tsuut'ina Nation, also created a shoulder patch with creative help from his daughter Brielle. Whitecloud, a member of Sioux Valley Dakota Nation in Manitoba, was traded to the Flames from the Vegas Golden Knights earlier this year. Proceeds from the Indigenous celebration merchandise will go to youth programming in all Treaty 7 First Nations. And a dance festival in its 19th year is once again entertaining audiences with a culturally diverse presentation. The dancers of Dam Lahamid are all family members from the Gitxsan Nation in northern BC. Margaret Grenier is the festival director. She says it's an honor to showcase their rich family lineage and culture to the world.
This year is a very special year. Although we've been doing this for 19 years, because of the renovations that they did in the Great Hall, this is going to be the first year that we fully returned into the Museum of Anthropology. So we're going to have dancing throughout the week. Today and yesterday and the day before it was for family and youth audiences, but we're going to have evening events over the weekend as well as afternoon events. We have artists that are coming as far away as Norway.
And that's your APTN National News for this Friday, March 6th. I'm Tiara Wheatley. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. Have a great weekend from all of us at APTN. Egase, Kitam, Kinanaskamitana, wow.